Every morning, the fisherman's up to walk inside his model lighthouse with everything in its place. And he began his day the same way. Except this morning, something felt different. Mon Dieu, the window had been boarded up. The fisherman didn't remember doing that. Even when the storm came, he was safe in here. But no two silly planks of wood were going to get between him and his routine. This would do. What was it Papa used to say? Use the right tool for the right job. Nearly there. What was this feeling? The fisherman hadn't felt like this for a long time. At last, the smell of the ocean. But outside, not the sea. He couldn't believe his wooden eyes. Outside the room was another room, a replica room. And standing in it, a huge but very familiar figure of a fisherman. And he knew that if that huge figure were to turn, its face would be very familiar. Sacre bleu! If this was what lay outside, then what was inside his own little model lighthouse, in the model of his own room? It was all there inside the model, exact in every detail. But the tiny version of himself, it was moving. He was inside the model, he was outside the model, and just who was pulling all the strings? Of course, as below, so above. When he lifted the tiny anchor, the large one was lifted by his giant self.
It's just in, dear listeners, a general alert to all lighthouses. In spite of all of our thrilling, up-to-the-minute warnings, a lone boat has gone out into the storm. Lighthouse keepers, make sure your lights are shining bright. I repeat, a lone boat has gone out into the storm.
The lighthouse. The world might be folding in on itself, but only one thing mattered now. He had to turn on the lighthouse lamp high above. The life of a fellow sailor was at stake. A huge anchor blocked the only door. Whoever did it must really want to keep the storm out, or keep something in. The path was clear. Time to light the lighthouse. Now, time to get out of this little room. Zut! The door was locked. He must have put the key somewhere last time he left this room. Now, when was that? And then, my friends, the strangest thing happened. Inside this room where he knew every cranny and nook, an unfamiliar voice said,
Hey, you! Yes, you, the scruffy-looking puppet. Yeah, you with the strings. Over here, on the shelf. Are you cracked in the cockle? Why did you move the anchor? Why? Oh, why did you take the roof off?
The fisherman, he felt, well, his lucky shell had just started talking to him, and very rudely too, so he did not feel so great.
You test me every day, and you thought I just had nothing to say. I'm an hermit crab, Sonny, and you might not appreciate a nice quiet hiding spot, but I do. Now, shh.
And what are we hiding from?
I'm hiding from the storm. Why do you think I stole the key?
The key? The key? Where is it?
Oh, fiddler crab sticks.
The fisherman took a deep breath. Oh, hermit crab, craftiest of all crustaceans, I must get to the top of the lighthouse. Those sailors out there may be looking for us. We must be brave.
Brave? If you can't find me my hat, I will be the captain, of course. And the captain needs his hat. The life just this once. We will be brave.
Well, of course, courageous Captain Crab, said the fisherman. Your hat and a life preserver. Now, where would an everyday wooden puppet find a tiny life preserver and a hat fit for a crab?
If you knew what was out there, mon ami, you'd probably live in a shell too. How does it look? Does it look, dashing? Oh, it does. Doesn't it? Now, fetch your captain his life preserver. Allez, allez. Allez! So, you found everything? Well, if a little wooden puppet like you can do this, then, I will be brave. Now, just let me get out of this damn shell. Phew. Breathe. I feel so much lighter, and the world feels so much bigger. I don't think I can go back into my shell after this. All right, let's do this. I'll help you open the door, so you can save your fellow silly old sailor. And I, as captain, shall courageously remain here, on guard. Now, let's see. Where did I leave the key? I was holding the key while I was repairing my shell. Then I had a sudden itch, and then... blast it. I don't remember. Almost. Got it. That will do. All right. Are you ready? Me too, I think. We are ready to go, shipmate. Time to open the door. You're hesitating, shipmate. We are ready to go, shipmate. Time to open the door. You're hesitating, shipmate. Farewell, shipmate. I won't forget what you did for me. Your captain salutes you.
He would need to find his way up the tower in the darkness, and already he could hear the storm rising outside.
fans, and remember, no catch is worth risking life and limb, even if it is the biggest, richest...
The biggest fish Papa ever caught. The fisherman had spent all his life trying to learn a catch as big as that.
Well, don't you look like a tall drinker? Water.
It was still alive. This went against everything he had learned. He had to get the fish some water. That cannot work.
Water. Oh, s'il vous plaît. Water.
You might say they were natural enemies, the fish and the fisherman, but he could not let it die of thirst. There, now the water would flow. Success. Too much success. Water flooded into the motto. Quick, hold your breath. The water closed over him, and the memories came flooding back. The coolness, the darkness, the ocean tossing and turning him like a rag doll. But wait a minute. Puppets can't drown. No, a bit of water wouldn't stop this fisherman.
Oh, water everywhere. But is there anything to eat? I'm hungry.
It seemed Papa had forgotten to feed his stuffed fish.
Out here, there must be food.
Who are you, oh noble fish? And do you know how to reach the top of the lighthouse? The fisherman asked.
I'm a big-eyed tuna. My eyes are even bigger than my stomach. And if you want to go upstairs, my little amuse-bouche, well, you'll have to feed me first.
There must be food out here.
Nothing? I'll starve. Any second now, I shall succumb to hunger. If only you find me some food.
They smell true and that. Vintage. But a stuffed fish could hardly be picky.
A bone? A fish bone? It's stuck in my throat.
What next? It seemed the fish had choked on its own appetite. And also a fish bone. He had to climb inside the mouse. The fisherman was afraid. How many of this fish's family had he pulled from the sea in search of the biggest catch? But how do I know you won't eat me? The fisherman asked.
Well, oceans and air. Also, I mean, you're made of wood and probably lead-based bent.
The fish had let its greed get the better of it, and now it was paying the price. But the fisherman knew what that felt like. He had to help.
It's in there somewhere. Keep looking. It's in there somewhere. Keep looking. It's in there somewhere. Keep looking.
Now, there was the bone of contention.
Thank you, fisherman. I could not get enough, you know. I wanted more, always, like an obsession. But you, Legoland walkers, we don't know anything about that. Of course, you have everything, don't you?
Well, what could the puppet say to that?
Now, I must repay you. The key to the tower door is outside. I saw a huge figure hide it near the mirror a long time ago.
Outside?
I'm certain it was around here. Climb on in. Welcome aboard Fish Flight 123. Please keep your arms inside the mouth at all times, and no splinters, please. Hold your seat, sir.
There was plenty of legroom, but the view left something to be desired. And there was a distinct smell of... yes, Sardines?
Here we are. Mind your step.
The key was too high. He needed something. Perhaps back in the lighthouse? There might... At last. Time to get back to the lighthouse. Thank you for helping me, the fisherman said.
Of course, you helped me see that there is more to life than the largest mouthful. Sometimes a smaller morsel is sweeter, juicier, and more delectable.
Whatever next, the fisherman wondered.
Bonchance, little morsel. Thank you for setting me free. I hope you reach the top of the tower.
The door opened. The lighthouse tower waited. The fisherman had begun to think that he had all the answers, but he would soon realize he had bitten off maybe more than he could chew.
Come in, trawler. Come in, trawler. If you can hear us, return to port immediately. I repeat, return to port immediately.
Papa's old study. This was where the fisherman had learned to make models. Sitting at Papa's knee, listening to Papa's gruff, scratchy voice telling him to try.